Alright, anyways, I got today off. I got a lot of shit I gotta do, but I wanted to do a video. There's a few things I wanted to talk about, and they're kind of not related, but in a way, everything is related. You can always find where shit intersects with other shit or whatever. So anyway, where do we begin? Well, first I'll list the things. One of the things I want to talk about is usury and the evil Jays and their evil usury. Okay, I want to go into that. I want to talk about homeless hacks, kind of like Murphy's Law. And the other one is, I want to talk, so maybe I'll start with this one, is with all this conspiracy stuff going on, it's funny to me how people can believe all this conspiracy stuff is happening. But when you propose the idea that all these homeless people, like in all over the country, right? They were all intentionally driven into homeless poverty. When you present that as a conspiracy, everybody scoffs in disbelief, like, oh, how stupid! What? Oh, don't you know those people are all losers and stuff? Like, it's super hilarious. So we'll start with that one first. So I've been paying attention to all this conspiracy shit, right? For years now, since like 2015, I've been really paying close attention to all this online stuff about all these conspiracies. You name them, all the 2019 conspiracies. There's all these conspiracies, and it's always that the middle class is under attack, and all these rich people are just evil people, except for, of course, there's a few that aren't, like Trump or whatever, right? But the majority of all these rich people, they're all evil people, and they're all just attacking the working class and the middle class. And it's this big conspiracy where the middle class is under attack constantly and the working class is under attack constantly. And where it's like almost like this victimhood mentality where, oh, I'm middle class, poor me. I'm the working and middle class. I'm a victim of the evil elite, the ruling elite. I'm a victim, right? Right? But if you were to propose the idea that all these homeless people in America we're all driven into homeless poverty, all these same conspiracy theorists, they all scoff, or they just ignore it. They're just like, who cares? That's not important, because what's important is that the middle class is under attack and the working class is under attack. It isn't important that the homeless are under attack. Like all these homeless people we've seen. I'm 50 years old. All these homeless people I've seen for the last 50 years, the majority of them were all driven into homeless poverty through gang stalking and all this other stuff. And the preordained fate that the shadow government preordains for everyone, that all these things none of this is important, and even just mentioning it right now is totally it's futile for me to even talk about this in this video, because everybody's just gonna shrug their shoulder. Oh no, there's way more important stuff going on than innocent people being driven into homeless poverty. Not to mention that they're freezing to death in states like California, Washington, Oregon, all these and so it's just hilarious to me that there's all these conspiracies about how the middle class is under attack. They're poisoning all the food. They're poisoning the air you breathe. They're spying all this shit. But the homeless completely ignored. You even proposed the idea that the homeless were driven into homeless poverty through the same elite shadow government. None of these people care, because all they care about is themselves. I'm working class. I'm middle class. I'm the victimhood. All this victimhood shit. But that other people that are actually suffering more, oh, they just did it to themselves because they're lazy, mentally ill, drug addicted, criminal beggars. See, and this will never end. This will never end until it becomes popular. Once this discussion becomes popular, then all these Pavlovian dogs that have been trained and parrot whatever they hear. They just parrot whatever's popular and trendy. They parrot it until it becomes popular. They won't say nothing ever, never, ever say anything about it. And to me, it's just hilarious. I think it's hilarious. All these victims, all these people in this victimhood mentality because they're working class and they're middle class and that you know the world is against them, and there's all these conspiracies to poison their food and all the 2019 conspiracies against the working and middle class. Nothing, not the homeless, poor homeless are not even mentioned and haven't all these years. I've been paying attention since 2015. All these years. It's all this big victimhood cry from the middle and working class, that the middle and working class are the victims of it. Yep. Let's not even mention that the middle class have been trained to be the fucking minions for the fucking ruling elite. The middle class have been trained to pull the levers and push the buttons for the ruling elite. So the middle class are the ones that are doing all this shit to everybody, and then the middle class are the ones claiming they're the victims. It's just, and this will never end. It doesn't matter that I'm doing this video. Dude, I've been talking about this since 2015. I've been doing fucking videos on this consistently for fucking like 10, I don't know how many years now, 8 years. And it's never on it's always ignored. You know, what's that saying? It says, you can't convince a person of a thing when their paycheck is dependent upon them being ignorant of it. See, these people's paychecks are all dependent on them being ignorant of the suffering of the homeless poor, the lowest on the fucking, the lowest echelons. These people have all been trained to ignore the lowest people on the echelon, just as illustrated in the book Brave New World. Coincidentally, of course, it's all coincidence. And they'll never talk about it. They never will. They'll always claim there's always something more important. The middle class are more important. You know, that there's a conspiracy against the middle class is way more important than there's a conspiracy against the lowest echelons, the lower echelons. And that the lower echelons were driven into that state by the very ruling elite that the middle class and working class claim to be standing against. This will never end. And so there's no point in talking about it. I mean, I don't even know why I am. You know, until once it becomes popular, then all the Pavlovian dogs who parrot every fucking popular and trending narrative will start talking like they're the experts on this subject. Only I've been talking about it since fucking 2008. I've been going before the fucking city council. I've been fucking going before, you know, the general assemblies at fucking, you know, the Occupy shit. I've been doing this since 2008, dude. And nobody's ever going to talk about it, because you can't convince a person of a thing when their paycheck is dependent upon them being ignorant of that thing. They created the homeless so that there would be something there to remind everyone else, the middle and working class, that if they don't toe the line and keep pulling those levers and pushing those buttons, they're going to end up homeless as well. That's why the homeless are there. And so the middle and working class are the minions of the ruling elite. They're the ones that pull all the levers and push all the buttons, and then they're the ones that are always crying victimhood 24/7 of how they are the victims of some governmental conspiracy. And this will never end. So anyways, that's enough of that. Now let's talk about the usury thing, because the evil J's, right? So this is just an example, and I could go out and just show you example after example after example after. This is like 90% of the US population is doing this. They are willing participants of usury. I just yesterday at work, we see this fucking badass fucking truck pull up. I mean, this thing was sick. You could fucking take this vehicle and just go completely off grid with it and never have to deal with society ever again. This thing was fucking sick as fuck. And so we see this thing roll up to the job, and we're looking at like, dude, that thing is fucking sick. That is a badass vehicle. It was like brand new 2025 fucking super fucking sick, right? And of course it's California license plate. And so we're looking at, and I'm just thinking, I'm already thinking, I always think about this shit, like the usury thing is like, yeah, does this person own that vehicle? Look at this vehicle. You think this and then of course when the person who's driving it gets out, they're a fat fucking older boomer, a woman with glasses. She looks like she worked for, CPS for fucking 30 years. She looks like Karen with glasses. She's like 100 pounds or more overweight. And she comes waddling out of this badass, like, I'm telling you, you could take this vehicle and go, and you never have to live on grid again. Like, just boom. She comes waddling out with her fucking glasses and her satanic haircut. Again, looks like she's worked for CPS for fucking 30 plus years. And then it's like, dude, this person does not own that vehicle. This person willingly participates in usury. Willingly is participating in all this. The evil Jays and their evil usury. See, this is just another victimhood mentality. These people, they participate in usury so they can have these fancy cars so that when they pull up, everybody goes, wow, look at that vehicle. And like, dude, like, okay, think about this woman. She's like 100 pounds or more overweight. Karen, total Karen with the glasses, satanic haircut. Does she look like she's a person that like worked really hard, did a lot of work in order to gain that? No. This is a person, again, who works at CPS, does nothing, is a fucking, just sits at a desk, waiting for the clock to, on Facebook all day. That's all they do. They're on Facebook all day. Every once in a while, they make a call. They pull a lever and push a button for the government and then hang out on Facebook and do nothing. Do you actually think that this woman has like done all this work in order to earn that vehicle? No, it's all usury. See, people bring all these problems on themselves and then blame it on the evil Jays and their evil usury. And I'm telling you, this is like 80% of the fucking U.S. population is willingly participating in usury and then going online and claiming the evil Jays forced me to get this really nice vehicle using the usury system to abuse me because I'm such a victim. Like, and again, this ties into the previous thing where I was talking about the homeless. Dude, like, for example, this woman, she looks down on the homeless. They're all lazy, mentally ill, drug-addicted, criminal vagrants. She pats herself on the back because she pulls levers and pushes buttons for the very system she claims she's a victim of. And she's participating in all this usury to get this fancy car, right? And I'm telling you, she couldn't last one day in the shoes of any given homeless person on the street right now. But those homeless people, they could last a lifetime in her world. But see, even though these are facts, nobody cares about any of these facts. Again, you'll never see anybody discussing any of this ever, anywhere on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, never. Because it's not popular. It's not a popular subject. V's not going to talk about it. Styx, Hex, and Hammer won't talk about it. Mark Dice, and all these small channels too. I'm the only motherfucker, dude. Only. Ever. There ain't, you show me one, because there isn't one. You'll never show me one. And again, all this, it's the Jays and their evil usury. This is the type of person that'll say that. That'll say, I'm a victim, as she rolling around in her fucking like $190,000 vehicle that she got from the very usury that she's claiming she's a victim of from the evil Jays. So it's just, dude, I'm so sick of all this shit of how it's the evil Jays and the working and middle class are the victims of the rich people and all this stuff, and just ignore the homeless, ignore the homeless and judge them, look down on them. They're all just lazy, mentally ill, drug-addicted, criminal, vagrant degenerates who failed to take personal responsibility for their lives through poor life decisions. You know the whole drill. And this will never end. This is totally insane. Like, it's complete insanity. And nobody wants to admit it. Nobody does. Nobody's going to be like, yeah, dude, you know what? You're right. You're right, story time. You're right, Angry Hobo. You're right. No, nobody will ever admit it because then they have to admit that they're stupid. They've been all this shit. This is all dumb. It's all fucking gay and stupid. So anyways, whatever. Now did I... Oh, okay, now homeless hacks. All right. Homeless hacks. Let's see if I could do this one. I'm not sure that I can, but I think I can. Where did I put... So this is a tool I wanted to show. Maybe I won't do this one because I don't have the tool handy, do I? I ought to. It ought to be right there. Where did it go? All right. Anyways, I'll describe it. So, first of all, you have to think... Oh, here it is. You have to be... In order to really kind of like... get past like the stigma and shit about what I'm talking about with homelessness, when I'm talking about homeless hacks, you have to consider Murphy's Law, which is whatever could possibly go wrong will go wrong. So if you are mindful of Murphy's Law and it's something you like to be prepared because Murphy's Law says that, you know, whatever you can think of that could possibly go wrong will go wrong. Well, that means you could end up homeless, you know. And so whenever people are talking about prepping and all this and that, they should consider homelessness. And I don't mean like living in a van homeless. I'm talking about your van breaks down. I mean where you got nothing but a backpack and that's it. Or whatever. You just got whatever gear you have that you've prepared for in the event of something like this happening, okay? Now, if you're homeless, so Murphy's Law. So first, before you scoff, which everybody always scoffs at the entire subject of homelessness, before you scoff, think of Murphy's Law. Whatever could possibly go wrong will go wrong. And dude, one of people's biggest fears is homelessness. One of people's biggest fears is homelessness. How many times have you heard the story about the person who was going to lose their house to the IRS or this or that, or they were going to lose their job that they used to pay all their bills? They were at threat of being homeless, and they just go postal and start shooting people. Like, they just freak the fuck out because that's how afraid people are of being homeless. And again, that's why they created homelessness. So you'd have this group of people to remind the working class and the middle class that if they don't continue pulling the levers and pushing the buttons for the establishment, they themselves are going to be homeless like those dirty fucking, you know, drug addicted, mentally ill, criminal, vagrant degenerates. They're going to end up like them. That's why they're there. So people are deathly afraid of becoming homeless because homeless people are the most hated people in this country. Nobody, dude, the racial minorities got nothing on the homeless. Everybody hates the homeless. Always, constantly, all the time. Watch CNN, NBC, ABC, MSNBC. Whenever they report on homeless, it's those lazy, mentally ill, drug-addicted, criminal, vagrant degenerates. They're pooping all over the streets and pissing in the subways, and they're stealing everything, and they're committing all the crimes. It's always the same. So everyone is deathly afraid of being homeless, which is why you'll see these stories where a person was at threat of becoming poor and homeless, and they just went postal and started killing everyone around them until the cops had to take them out. And these people never prepared in their mind Murphy's Law, that the whatever could possibly go wrong will go wrong. That means losing your home. That's a thing that could go wrong, where you could end up like a bum living on the street, where you have to start stealing food from the grocery store in order to survive, and whatever, you have to start doing it, right? So one of the big challenges, this is just one of many, of homelessness, is where do you store your belongings? You know, like, I've had people tripping out. They're like, why do these homeless, you see them and they wear all these jackets and stuff when it's 100 degrees outside, and now these homeless people, they must be mentally retarded or mentally ill because they have these jackets on. They're all like, it's 100 degrees and they've got jackets and vests and stuff, and they're just walking around sweating. Yeah, therefore they must be retarded. Okay, says a person who's never been homeless. Well, if you have nowhere to store your belongings, you have to carry them with you wherever you go. Duh. Who is the fucking retard, right? So anyways, this is a hack for that. If you ever become homeless, one of the biggest challenges you will face, which is hard to imagine unless you've actually been in this situation, one of the more difficult things is having a place to store your belongings, okay? So this is the thing I want to share. It's called a pack safe. Now, I'm not selling this. I'm not getting anything. I don't even know if you can get them anymore. I don't really know. It's called a pack safe. Okay, let me show you. And it's not made for homeless people. It's made for fucking people that like to travel. You know, rich people that like to travel. You know, trust fund cunts that like to travel. You know, that's what these things are originally made for. But the thing is, so this is a pack safe. I bought 3 of them. Once I found out, I did a lot of research because I've already been homeless, so I know that, you know, Murphy's Law is real. Murphy's Law is real, okay? So now, hopefully, I'll be more prepared because I didn't. Okay, this is a pack safe. It's a wire mesh, and it's very difficult to break into. And you put your backpack in the I don't know if you could see this, but you put your backpack inside of this. There's an opening right here. Okay? And then your backpack goes inside, and then you cinch it up, and then you lock it with a lock. So you can lock your fucking backpack up, okay? Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, so what? So I can lock it up. Well, who cares? Like, how is that going to help? They'll just take the whole thing. Well, okay, let me show you something else. And then I'll be done with this. Okay. So then what you do is you get one of these, you know. You can get, there are different lengths, different thicknesses, and everything else. But it's a cord, right? It's a cord. And so then you can lock this to your pack safe, and then lock it to a tree, okay, or lock it to a street post sign or something. Now, so for me, the reason I got it is because, okay, like if I'm homeless, okay, and I don't have anywhere to store my belongings, what I would do is I would go into areas where there aren't a lot of people, you know, like along rivers, shit like this, along the levee. You go to the levee where all the rich cunts ride their fucking $7,000 bicycles along the levee, you know, where the river is and there's trees and shit. You know, you go back into there and you find a good spot, and you lock your belongings that you don't want to carry around all day, every day, lock them up in the pack safe, and then using one of these, you lock it to like a tree, so it's really hard for, and then you disguise it, either throw, you know, cover it up, hide it, as long as you know where it is. Like me, I would even go further, where I would dig a hole and create a like a, you know, a basement. I would even use wood and milk crates or whatever and dig a hole deep enough that's kind of like a basement. It's like a storage spot out in one of these areas where there's forage and trees and shit, like, you know, on the outskirts of a town or city. And I would dig a hole and make it like solid and good. Again, you can use wood so that, you know, to kind of hold the, you know, structure of the storage space for your thing. Then you put it in your pack safe, put it in the hole, and then, you know, lock it to a tree. So you have to find a spot where there's a, you have to think about all this. But anyways, then you lock it using this to a tree. This is easily covered up with dirt and stuff like that, so people won't see it. And then that's where, store stuff that I don't want to be carrying around all day. And what I would do personally, because, well, anyways, it'll be kind of self-explanatory. But as far as, okay, so once I had my stuff, right, I found a spot, I dug a hole, I made a structure that was fairly sound, and it would fit my backpack or whatever, my belongings, and then I put this, I lock up my pack, put it in the hole, put a board or something over it and cover it with dirt and brush and leaves and shit, right? And then lock it to the nearest tree with this, so it's very difficult for anybody to fucking steal it. And then that's where I keep my bulk of shit, right? And again, I would be like kind of like on the outskirts of a city or a town, so I could still access, whatever, this and that, right? And then what I would do is I would have a bag. Let me show you. This is what I would do personally. Is I would have a bag like this, about that size, okay? I would have a bag about this size. Okay, let's see. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, okay. And so this bag this size, I have a special ops sniper tent, a bivy sniper tent. It's a one-man tent that'll easily fit in there. It'll take up about 1/3 of the space in there, so I can carry my house in this bag, right? So I would do that, and then so, because what I'm thinking is the basics, like you need food, you need shelter, and you need water. And so I would always carry the basics on me, right? I would have my one-man bivy special ops tent in here. And then I'd have like those Sawyer water filters, maybe a little bottle of water pills. And then I would have like my, container for water, like a water bottle. And then the only other thing would be like power bars, like, food. It'd be something like this. Throw, handful of those. See, but then I don't look homeless. Like, you put this on. Well, I'm telling you. So all my basic shit, housing, water, and food, will fit right in here. Okay? And that doesn't look homeless. Lots of people carry satchels like this, whereas if I'm carrying all my shit on me and stuff, then it's a lot more obvious. That's what I'm saying. Storing a place to store belongings. So the pack safe. Again, I'm not selling them or nothing. And I don't even know if you could still get them. But it's worth looking into. There are lots of different products besides pack safe. If you really look and dig, you can find they have products like this, I'm sure. I did all that research to find those pack safes back in 2015 when I decided to, move into my minivan. And the whole thing is not if I'm going to be homeless, but when I'm going to be homeless. Not if my van breaks down, but when my van breaks down. And there's another thing. I'm not going to... Maybe I'll do a separate video on it, but it's a luggage thing with wheels. It's like a metal frame with the wheels, and it's got a little bungees. And what you do is you put your suitcase on it, and then you bungee it, and then you can just walk. You don't have to carry the luggage. You just walk because it's got wheels. I got one of those, a good one, that costs like $150 that's durable. Because of that reason also, like if and when I do have to carry my gear, there's no point in like carrying it on my back and this and that. And also if I'm carrying all that stuff around, then I look homeless. Like, whereas if I had one of those luggage things, I just look like a traveler. Like I just got off of Greyhound bus and I'm walking with my luggage, or whatever you want to call it, luggage or whatever, to my destination. So I just look like I'm a Greyhound bus traveler, as opposed to I'm carrying all my gear on me so everybody can see. It doesn't look like that. It just looks like I'm traveling, and I've reached my Greyhound bus destination to go visit Uncle Joe, or whatever, right? And but anyways, yeah, I don't have that thing readily available, but you know what I'm talking about. There are those things. I bought mine at I got mine at Target, and you can find them if you look for them. They're not hard to find, and I'm telling you, they're very useful. Also, like if I'm traveling, say I'm traveling like 20 miles on foot, why carry that? Why carry all that shit when I can just have it on wheels and just walk? It's like way easier, work smart, not hard, is kind of the idea that I'm going for with that. Is if I have to go like 20 miles, I'm not gonna carry all that shit on my back. Like fuck that, And I'm not saying that people that do are like stupid or mocking them. I'm just saying, like, when I'm forward thinking, where I'm like, if I end up becoming homeless, what can I do to make shit easier? And that was one of the things, including the pack safe, is I'm not carrying that shit, but I want that shit. I just don't want to fucking carry it if I have to walk 20 miles or something. It's easier just to use one of them fucking luggage carry things that has the wheels and shit. You just throw all your shit on that, strap it with the fucking bungee cord thing, and just start walking. Then you don't have to carry 50 pounds of shit on your back. My thought process is, I'll only do that if I have to. If I have to carry all that shit, which there may be situations where, that luggage roller thing won't work. But again, how often would it be that luggage thing wouldn't work? I mean, I could even take it hiking if I wanted to and just roll it through the fucking dirt and rocks and shit, You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's just some bullshit. So anyways, that'll do it for this video.